That's how I normally explain it to people. And I think it
Well,
makes logical sense too
yeah,
in what you
I
explain.
get it. And I think you're understanding me, but I'm not sure if we're on the same page where the disconnect came in. But I understand exactly what you're saying. Obviously, there's going to be a lot premium difference. That's a given. I knew that. And I think the conversation I tried to have with John initially, I probably didn't describe it further and he didn't pursue it further. So we just left off with the base price is the base price for
Yeah.
any, but it
Now,
does change.
and what my feeling probably was on that, I probably got too technical. It's like the house itself, no, the house itself
Right.
is never going to change. Where you put that house is going to
That
change.
will change. Right.
Yeah.
Right. And that is the card I played with them is it's the location. You know, you have to drive another 30 minutes out to Marshfield when in Rogersville you would not. Well, depending on which way you're coming from, but based on
I
where
would actually say one thing slightly different than that though, John, only from the fact that you guys will continue to expand. And so, for example, for us in Tulsa, on the east side of Tulsa, we have Broken Arrow. On the west side of Tulsa, we have Jenks or Bixby, and they're about a 45-minute drive away. The framers that frame our house in Broken Arrow will not drive to Jenks and Bixby. So I have a completely different set of framers, and it's a different cost to frame. So my price of the exact same home would be different in those two locations of the house itself. And also, as we went into Oklahoma City, which is 2 hours away, the cost of materials changed. And then the cost of the labor was different. So the exact same home could be $25,000 or $30,000 more in Oklahoma City than it could be in the Tulsa area. The other thing I would say is it can be covenant driven as well, because in one neighborhood, you might have electric furnace, water heater, stove. In another one, you might have gas. And those are different material costs. And then you also might have a covenant driven thing of like some neighborhoods, it's like it's mandatory that you have two trees in the front yard. And in this other neighborhood, you don't have to have it. So there can be covenant driven things that can vary a little bit. Those are usually smaller variations, but the further apart the communities are, the bigger the factor of the house can cost a different amount as well. So I would say, if they're both in Rogersville, right, probably the same. But, or
right.
if they're close enough together where you're using all the same trades, all the same suppliers.
Yeah.
But as you guys grow, you'll have different trades and different suppliers, and your actual cost of your home will change. And then covenant restrictions, like you might get into a neighborhood where it's mandatory that the front of the house have brick on it. Well, that's going to cost more than siding, right? So you just have to be a little bit. I would just always tell customers it's always a different price in different communities because the cost of the land is different and sometimes the features are different. And then that way you're like not painting yourself into a corner on it. So um, just trying to help with that language a little bit so we don't get stuck on one of those again. Those are no fun. It sucks because customers are totally fine with them making a mistake or an error, but they're never fine with us making one,
Well,
right?
and it's just one of those things that, we learned and we learned from, and we're just going to move on. But they are still very engaged. They're just taking 2 weeks off to go visit with family. And I
Yeah,
spoke with them yesterday, and
good.
everything is looking good.
Well, that's great. Way to keep them engaged. It's because you're doing a great job and they probably like you and like working with you. And they know that, you know, sometimes people will be forgiving, sometimes there's not. If it's an engineer, they probably are less forgiving than somebody who's not an engineer, right? So, well, good job keeping them moving, still, talking and engaged in the conversation. So, I just wanted to like make sure you understood where to find all the answers to those questions in
I
case
appreciate
they
it.
come up again. So,
Yeah.
in my thought process, it's we win or we learn, right? So it's like if we always learn from a thing that goes a little bit sideways, then we don't lose because we learned, right? And then we don't, and then we hope to not repeat it, right? So
Right.
I did because that came up, I did ask Joe to go create you guys a new base price matrix. John, you have this, but I believe it's not updated currently. So let me just show you what I'm talking about. I can't spell, so give me a second. Base prices. We're going to make a report straight out of Mark Systems for you, but it's like, so that every plan in every community has its own thing, and then we can filter based on communities or based on whatever we want to. So we can, clear.
Do I have one of those?
You do have this, but what I'm saying is this one is wrong right now. It's not up to date. I'm going to make you one that pulls the information straight from Mark Systems.
No, I was asking. Does Haven have one?
You do have one of these, yes. Sorry, I thought that was Natalia asking.
No, that's okay.
You do have one of these.
That's cool.
Yeah. Then it
'Cause the
allows
prices
you,
are different now, so I don't know what the base prices are.
right. Yours also needs to be updated since you guys just launched. But here's yours right here. And right now it's filtered, right? So you can filter different things.
Yeah, I have that, but I don't think those prices just aren't right.
Right, and that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We're going to make it
Okay.
pull from Mark
Cool.
Systems. But just to give you an idea here, Natalia, for this scenario, you could hit clear and turn on Amethyst Basement. And now it would show you where you can and cannot build it and what the price is in each neighborhood.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah, so then obviously these are not updated at the moment because this is a manual document. I'm going to create it out of Mark Systems. But then you would have been able to just quickly go look at this. And what I used to do when I was going to meet with a client, because we had like 58 floor plans in 38 neighborhoods. That's a big spreadsheet. That's like 1,600 lines of data. Like I can't look at that. So what I would do is I would turn on just what I wanted to see and I would print it before the customer came in for the appointment. Does that make sense?
It does, but what I'm having a little bit of a hard time with, and I think John kind of is working on that and maybe helps somewhat in that area. Available inventory at the moment.
Yeah.
Move-in ready, available inventory.
Yeah.
I think, John, what you're providing is, what stage it's at, kind of like, oh, well, it's got plumbing and
Well, that will tell you what's available too.
I want to see what's available in each community, the price, the size, the name of the floor plan. That's it. So that way I could just easily, and I don't even have to show this to them because, if we're not given a price without a monthly mortgage breakdown. So that's fine. I just want to know, like, okay, these folks that they kind of like my appointment yesterday. She wants to be on the north side, Bolivar. Well, we don't really have anything in Bolivar at the moment, but
you have this. Are you aware of this?
What am I looking at?
Mark Systems, your market ready homes report.
Where did you exactly find that? Do I have access to that?
Yeah, you don't have access to the
I don't have
reports.
access to that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where.
Yeah, she wasn't able to pull it up while we were out there yesterday, or not yesterday, but last week.
A reason we wouldn't have access to Joe. I think it was an all thing. Yeah, let me see if we can turn that on for you, but that's like the simplest answer.
It makes it so difficult to just, I literally have to call John every time. Hey, do we have something in this community? And of course, if you go into lot view, it only gives you Marshfield, Rogersville, and I think something else, right?
Yeah, because we don't have the oddball stuff on there.
I don't have the oddball. So I don't feel at my best, I don't feel like I can really answer all of their questions, and I don't like that. I want to know, I want to see what we have that's available in the moment, move-in ready, period.
Yeah.
Available inventory, every community has it, so
Yeah. Would you like this document?
is that, John, is that what you provided? Something similar?
It's something similar. It was what was
One of my
under, it was a progress report. So it's had everything from
progress, yeah.
specs. It had everything from the specs to what was already under contract and what stage they were at.
And that's good, but I specifically want something that's just available inventory, period.
Yeah, which this has what stage they're at as well. Last stage they're at too. So
Yeah, this is it. I mean, this is to me the simplest thing possible. I think this is really, really easy for you to look at.
Okay.
So I'll email this to you. This is live information, and it tells you what the last task that was performed on the home was. And you need to just understand, if it says 100% complete, then it's 100% complete. And you can print this out and you can just highlight the ones that say 100% complete if you want to. But this is every home you have right here. It tells you what the most recent task completed was. So if it says drywall finish, you know the house was just drywalled. If it says framing labor, you know the house is framed.
So are you saying you just want me to pick through this and just make my own spreadsheet that has the available inventory in each community?
Well, I don't think you need to even do that. I mean, I think this tells you everything you would ever want to know about the status of every move-in-ready home you have. It's by neighborhood.
yeah, because you got like Creek
every
Ridge.
plan, and it tells you what the stage of construction is. And I think you want to sell more than just 100% complete homes, right?
I do, but it would be nice to just be able to go to a list that, once they're set on a floor plan, I just know, okay, well, you want to be in the north side. Here's all the move-in ready homes on the north side, and, in Bolivar or whichever area, we're building in on the north side.
Why don't you look closely? I'll email this to you. Why don't you look closely at it, see what it is? I think this is the best possible thing you could have, because it really just gives you all of the information you want. And then I can talk to you more about it later and go into more detail, but I got to jump into my next meeting. But I think that should give you all the answers to all the questions, and it gives you your full inventory. And you just have to know what you're looking at to know what stages they're at. That's all. So, okay, guys, I appreciate you. I'm going to jump into my next meeting. Hope you have a great rest of your day.